When everything is falling apart, everything feels terrible. You are inside the emotions. You are in the heat of the moment. But after the chaos settles, after the event is no longer inflamed, that's when something much more important happens. That's when you get the chance to decide what this story will become. And here is today's question. What destroyed you more? What happened to you or the story you told yourself about it? Welcome, friends. I'm Fred. Here we talk about investments, business, training, and real life, all from my personal perspective. And today, this is the real life question. There is always two different things: the event itself, what actually happened, the narrative you build after the event. The fact is fixed. The story is a choice. And most people don't realize that the story they tell themselves can hurt them far more than the event ever did. When I was around 18 to 21 years old, I ran a small manufacturing business. We made wheels for garage gates and sold them to hardware stores and metal shops here in Brazil. I was working hard, trying to make it work, trying to build something, and then it failed. The business collapsed. I couldn't hold it anymore. I went broke. And worse than that, I was in debt. I owned money in the market. That moment destroyed me, not philosophically, but symbolically. In real life, that was the phase where the pain was raw, where emotions were intense, where survival was the only focus. But after the business was closed, after the employees were paid, after the dust settled, I finally had space to think. And that's when I realized something critical. I had two choices. I could tell myself a story that would keep me broken, or I could tell myself a story that would rebuild me. I made two internal decisions, not perfectly articulated, but deeply felt. First decision: I will never live in debt again, no matter what it takes, even if I have to work day and night. Second decision: my next business will be different. I will use everything I learned here and do it better. Those two thoughts changed everything. Now, here's the dangerous part. Some people experience failure and they turn it into an identity. They don't say, "This happened to me." They say, "This is who I am." And that's where people get stuck. Not because life was unfair, but because they built a narrative that justified staying down. I was lucky. I had guidance. My father helped me make decisions, and later another older mentor did the same. If I had listened better earlier, I probably wouldn't have failed the first time. But that doesn't matter anymore. What mattered was this: I took responsibility for the next chapter. It took me at least 2 years to clear all my debts, one by one, slowly, and every debt I paid reinforced the same idea: never again. That experience gave me something that still shapes my life today: a deep respect for risk and debt. Some might call it fear. I call it discipline. That failure didn't destroy me. The event hurt me. But the story I told myself built me. Because facts are in the past, but narratives create the future. This applies to business, to relationships, to health, to life. You can't change what already happened, but you are 100% responsible for what it means and for what you do next. So, I'll ask you again: what hurt you more, the facts you lived or the story you kept telling yourself about them? Let me know in the comments. I read and respond to all of them. Thank you for being here, and I see you in the next video.